Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you guys here. We are going to dive right in. You may hear some noise in the background. That is some construction work going on at my house. And I'm sorry about it, but this is when I have the ability and time to do this. So you may just hear it every once in a while in the background, all right? Here we go. For Pisces, please Spirit, for Pisces. Wow. You guys are, today is 10/10. And it's the 10/10 portal. My grandma actually passed away like on 10/10/2010. I'm like, yes, that is the perfect period at the end of her sentence. Like, yeah, she was good stuff. But you're getting this completion card, and this is, the energy of, an ending. And it's giving me like job well done. You got through it, you learned from it, you got what you needed from it. It's giving me like you plotted your course, or you chose your course, or it's sort of even giving me like what decisions you may have made along the way are less important than kind of what you learned in the process. In other words, there wasn't really a wrong decision. I feel a sense of like applause, of like, yes. So this is a significant like completion in your life. Yeah, it's giving me like this energy of like, we don't jump from one thing to another thing. Like sometimes we do, but not in this case, not when it comes to this, whatever this is. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm done. Now I want to start again. That energy, it doesn't always work. This happens to me a lot when I'm painting, especially when I'm having some success, or I feel like I'm having success. I will push myself to continue to paint until I'm tired, I'm losing focus, and I'm making bad decisions. And I am really unhappy with what I'm painting, and also I'm unhappy painting, and this is why this moderation card is coming up, because it's kind of this energy of like, yes, could we end this and then just jump right into the next thing? Or like, could we complete this part or complete this painting and then jump right into another? Yeah, do we have that free will option? Do we have that, is that at our disposal? It feels like yes. But it feels like this is the beginning of something new. What energy do you want to be in when you begin it? What energy do you want to lay as the foundation for where you're going for this next cycle? Do you want it to be a continuation of the last cycle? Is that even a feasible answer I'm getting? Because like, that's the thing, when I'm having success as a painter and things are really turning out, I'm like, wow, I'm going to push my luck, and I'm going to start another painting. And I'll just do this much of it, you know what I mean? Or sometimes I'll have paint colors mixed that are left over that I know I want to use in the next painting. And I'll be like, I'll just paint those colors. I'll just paint that part. And inevitably, I end up making a mess. I end up getting upset and discouraged. I end up then, when I come back to face that painting again to complete it or to work through it, I'm like, oh, I gotta start with this. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll just paint over it. And then it's like, not only did I waste the paint that I was trying not to waste, I wasted my time, I wasted my energy, I wasted my mojo, my vibe, you know? And so it's like sometimes you can complete that cycle, and instead of just launching into a new cycle, you can take that high or that, you know, sense of accomplishment and just sort of sit with it and just sort of be with it and kind of multiply it, or even kind of manifest the next cycle from a higher vibrational space, you know? And that may be more productive. But this moderation card is giving me, you know, this isn't about jumping from one thing into the next. It is about sort of utilizing the energy from what has passed that is good and sort of weaving that into all the possibilities of what's to come, to sort of give this cycle it's like a certain kind of strength that comes in moderation. I was watching something with my husband the other night, and it was like this blacksmith was making a sword in the thing, and like in order to make that sword strong, he needed time. He needed time to like melt the metal to form the sword, and then to make the sword strong so that it didn't break in battle, right? And that's what it's giving me. It's like taking that time to make it strong so that it doesn't break in battle, so that as you move into the next cycle, you're not subject to whims. You're not subject to highs and lows. You're sort of strong. You know, you're kind of your own entity in it. We've been talking about this. I feel like it's been sort of a quiet thread that's been weaving through a lot of readings here. This energy of really being honest with ourselves, and this could be someone else's energy here, Pisces, where let me read the cards. We have denial, and it says, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. And then you have honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. And then you have balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. Pisces, I keep getting this energy of like sharpening a sword. If you only knew this scene of the sword situation was like a microsecond and like a huge thing. And so like the fact that it's showing me that, it's reminding me of that, and it's using that as an example here. And then you're getting this balance energy. It is giving me an energy of like temperance, something coming together, but it's coming together, like when it comes together in the most balanced way, it has longevity, it has strength. I just keep getting this energy of strength, you know, like we don't want to break again in a cycle. And it is kind of coming at me like, again, we want to, and it's up to us. It's kind of giving me of like how we kind of treat, how we set it up, what energy we're bringing to it, and therefore kind of sustaining. It's kind of giving me like, this is the, like if I'm composing a song or something, maybe I start with a drum beat that's like boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? That's like just a consistent beat. That's what you're creating right here. Like what is going to be the rhythm of the song? Like, what is going to be the thing that holds the whole thing together, that is always present, no matter what else is happening, no matter what comes in or what goes out? This is the constant presence of the song. And that is what it's giving me. Like, that's the part you're determining and deciding right now, okay? And I don't know why it's like so hyper focused on this and keeps drawing me back, even when I start to go another way. It's to pulling me back to this. So I feel this is very important, okay? And the denial and the honesty, you know, at first I started picking up on someone else's energy, honestly, when I saw this. And that's why I said, I think I said like something like, this could be someone else's energy. It could be a lot of someone else's energy, like a lot of other people's energy, not just like one person's energy. It's giving me this energy of like, you cannot be the consciousness for other people, or you cannot determine for other people. Oh wait, how is this? I don't want to say this wrong. Other people are going to believe what they want to, okay? And we can be the pillar of consciousness for ourselves, and we can say, you know, I don't see it that way, or we can observe the untruth of what they're saying and not say anything and move away from them in that situation. It's kind of giving me this energy of reading the room, and being very careful observers through this space. This may also be where you are kind of deciding who you're going to work with in this next cycle, or in this next where you're headed here. And it is like carefully, it's like, it's showing me like it's better to have like one or two people that you can kind of trust or rely on, or that you see things the same way as, then oh my gosh, it's giving me so many things here. Than having a lot of people, or trying to work with everyone, or trying to appease everyone, or trying to keep people happy that really aren't bringing anything to the table. They're not really serving any kind of purpose. There's nothing value about it. They may be showing up and they may be having an opinion, but it's like you find yourself listening to it or whatever, and then just sort of walking away from it. Like it's irrelevant noise it's actually taking up time though, and it's like taking up resources without adding any value. Okay, I don't know what this is about. This could be about like work. This could be about friendship. It could be about, you know what I mean? Or like, you know, there are times in our lives where being a resource for other people is good. It's a gift. It actually makes us feel good about ourselves, that like, oh, I'm so abundant, I have extra to offer other people. Or you know, somebody wants my opinion, they respect me and want my opinion, you know, on something, right? And that has its own sort of reward, that has its own kind of payoff, right? But then there are other times in your life where that energy or that focus is better served like for you creating something of your own, instead of like helping someone else work through it. Like the value that brings is less than the value that energy, time, or focus can bring just focused on yourself, or on whatever you're creating, or whatever you have in front of you. So there's something here. I feel like, Pisces, whatever phase you're going into it is going to be something that you want to put a lot of energy toward, or that you want to bring a lot of focus toward. Or it may be, for some of you, something that challenges you to the point of depletion, or like, you know, when you just, Like, let's say you're a marathon runner and it's race day and you go out and you run your marathon and you give it everything you have and you're freaking exhausted at the end of the day. But it's a great kind of exhaustion and you're depleted and you gave it all to the marathon. And maybe you got your best time, maybe you didn't, but the sense of accomplishment that you have is just incredible. Now, imagine that you're running a marathon with 5 of your friends, and all 5 of your friends are chatty Cathys and love to talk. And even if you try to zone out of the conversation, they're constantly bringing you back into it. So they're taking you out of your race brain. You have to respond sometimes, which is taking up energy and oxygen and whatever. And at the end of the race, you're even more exhausted. Like, there may even be times throughout the race where you feel like you don't even know if you can finish your race. And this is like a race you were running for yourself and you signed up for it and told your friends and they were like, oh, we want to run a marathon. Let's all train together. Let's make this a group project. And it was like, it was something you were trying to do for yourself to begin with. And so you're almost also fighting the nagging inside yourself that's telling you like, you know, I really wanted to do this by myself. I didn't even want them to be here. Next time somebody says, let's make this a group project, I'm going to say this, or I'm only going to run marathons that are 1,500 miles away or more so that they don't want to come. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're spending the race like making up all these rules in your mind to avoid this kind of situation. It's like really depleting. This is what it's kind of giving me. It's like, run your marathon. Insist on it. Like, don't let other people kind of pull you into conversations that aren't helpful to you, or that are taking you away from your something that's really important. It's giving me like light at the end of the tunnel. Focus on that kind of energy. Stay really focused on it. And this may even be, for some of you, saying keep your plans to yourself. You know, don't tell everyone everything that you're doing. You know, tell your friends that you're running a marathon after the sign up is over, you know, when it's too late for them to join you. You know, I mean, I hate to say things like that, but that's how it feels. Like, keep things to yourself. Yeah, and I'm also getting this energy of like not feeling compelled to like correct everything. You know, it's kind of like if you see someone going down a path and it's like sometimes you want to just stop them. Sometimes you just want to say, hey, that path is not going where you say you want to be going. It's like, instead, just let them go. Just let them go down the path, you know, and just stay focused on your own self, you know, because it's like, I feel like there's all these things around you or people around you that could really become a distraction, or something. Hang on, let's see. You're getting very few cards. Oh, wow. Okay. It's not personal. Came out in reverse. This is a message you guys keep getting also. It's like a background thread. See, guys, I'm telling you, you got people. This is part of your completion. It's not dealing with people that pull you away from your highest and best. You know, it's giving me the energy, like, I don't know if you've ever, this used to happen to me all the time. You know, my family is very much like, you know, they'll make an accusation about you and then you try to kind of defend yourself or explain yourself. You know what I mean? And it's almost kind of like shocking what they say. And then you're like, wait, what the hell? Where did you get that from? Like, you don't even know what it is. And so then you're already on your back foot. And then you're trying to kind of explain yourself, or you're trying to, like, you know, you're guessing, first of all, where it's coming from. And then you're trying to defend that. And what it ends up doing is sort of making you look a little bit crazy, because you're coming from your back foot. You're coming from this space of, what in the world? How did you even arrive here? How did you even get this? And then you backtrack in your mind the last, weeks or months or whatever, and like, what could have potentially made them come to this place. But it's all based on illusion. It's all based on stuff that isn't even really true. It has no factual basis. So when you try to defend that, you're almost like giving it power in the here and now. Because you're engaging with it. This is what it's giving me. And so there may be people around you, Pisces, who I feel like your vibration is a bit high. I feel like you're in an energy where you're not really looking for validation from other people. You're kind of in these nines are, you think about the 9 of Pentacles, the Hermit energy. You may be kind of by yourself or singled out in certain situations, but you're strong. You're doing it from a place of power. You're doing it from a space of choice of like, I'm kind of almost like even better off this way. And I'm feeling like threatening to people around you. And so it's giving me this energy of, kind of reaching in a bag and trying to come up with something that could bring you down, or that could even slow you down, or but it's like just tossing a bunch of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, seeing what you'll respond to. And I'm just getting this energy of like these 9s of keeping it to yourself, not really, you don't need to defend yourself against something that's an illusion, nor can you even effectively defend yourself against something that is an illusion. It took me years to figure that out. Years of a ton of wasted energy, a ton of hurt, a ton of taking things back into myself and introspecting and processing and working through and asking myself, what is this? And then to finally just uncover, like, this is not me. This is about them, and this is sort of about the threat that I am and have always been, and this is kind of how I feel like you're emerging into like a clearing or like a meadow. And you're able to sort of turn around and see the forest and the trees, when before you couldn't see the whole forest because you were in the trees. Now you're kind of like, whoa, okay. You kind of made it to the other side and you're seeing something here. It's like all laid out in front of you. And there's this energy of, it's just kind of giving me putting things in their place, or putting someone in their place, or it's like even the recognition of a frequency, like a lower vibrational frequency, and maybe even like kind of the effect that it has, or it's giving me that vibe of like, people will say to you sometimes, oh, you recognize it, or like, oh, just don't respond to it, or they encourage you to coexist in these spaces that are toxic, and just don't allow yourself to be affected by it. That it's not personal was in reverse, and that feels like a really big deal. Like, just don't be affected by it. Just, put up your energetic, force field and don't let it affect you. And, you know, as someone who has definitely tried to do that, I will just say that typically lower vibrational people do not respect boundaries. And that is the inherent problem with dealing with them. Like, even, you know, staying in a space with them at all. Because they don't listen to your boundaries, so they're always going further than you want them to. And when people come into your, a boundary is, this is where I am in relationship to you. And this is where I feel safe. I can still be in relationship with you, but I can protect myself and be in a healthy space myself. If someone invades that, then that's no longer true. And, or you have to backpedal. You have to be on your back foot and moving backwards. That, you know, there's not really a way to engage with that energy without losing something, without giving something up, without compromising something, without sacrificing something. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's usually a piece of you, or it's a resource of yours. And, you know, these are people who are threatened by your presence. So they want that. They want you giving up your resources. They want you in a weakened state. They want you, you know, to not be able to be at your best. Because if you were at your best and you were able to just focus on making the progress that you want to focus on without needing to heal from trauma, without needing to, you know, respond or engage or deal with this bullshit, you know, then you are, well, they can't control you. They have no control over it. And you may reach heights that they could never reach, or you may make them look like liars, or you may make them look inadequate, or you may reveal whatever their insecurity is that they're trying to cover up. So it's kind of just giving me this energy of, you know, being by yourself, you know, spending time on your own and keeping things to yourself. And this feels very temporary, okay? This doesn't feel like forever. It feels like this is actually maybe even part of the completion. It's kind of letting those energies stay where they are, or, you know, not bringing them with you, and or possibly even any wound that they have inflicted or any damage that has been caused through this cycle that you've been going through and through, you know, all of this. There's an energy of like healing from it, and it keeps giving me this like walking into a meadow and then turning around and being able to see the whole forest, like being able to put it in its place, being able to now understand what it looks like, what you were inside of. Like the whole time you're inside of it, inside the forest, all you see is the trees. You don't really understand what you're inside of, or what it looks like, or how it relates to the ecosystem at large, or whatever this is, right? But then when you get into the meadow and you turn around and you look at it, it all makes sense. It falls into place. And so that's what it's giving me. This relates back to this moderation energy of like, we're not jumping from one thing into the next, because we sort of run the potential of like, you know, those hitchhikers that get in your socks when you are hiking. You know what I'm talking about? They're like little round balls that have like spurs on them, and they hurt, you know, they're prickly. And they attach to your socks and your clothing, like when you're walking through a field with them in it. Well, it's giving me that, like, if you don't stop and sort of like change your clothes, or like pull all the hitchhikers out, those hitchhikers are going to go with you into the next phase, and it's going to weaken you. It's going to, it's going to be a problem for you. Okay. Like it's going to take your attention away from what it is you're doing. There's something big about where you're going or what you're doing here. I mean, cause this is like giving me like a very like, you know, cleanse your palate. Wow. You guys, seriously, I'm dying. I am dying. I am dying even more. Oh, I am dying. I am dying right now. You guys, seriously, do you see the cards that came out? I am dying. This is so insane. Okay. Wow. So the Wheel of Fortune, you know, this is the changing of a cycle, right? This is like something is changing here. We're going into a new cycle. We have the Four of Swords, the Four of Wands, and the Four of Pentacles. 3 fours. I was guided to grab the numerology deck because I was feeling like angel numbers are going to be really important, or yeah, basically in a nutshell. I didn't know if it was in this reading or if it was just in life at large. And then when the reading started and we got that 9 completion and I realized it was 10-10 and yeah. Anyway, Bhakti Francis, Bubba, guys, no, you're too cute to bark. You're too cute. Yeah, you're too cute. You can't get upset over silly things, guys. No, we don't want to get upset over silly things. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, remember how I was doing, it's like you're setting up the rhythm and I was doing that, you know, like steady beat. And like, so whatever comes and goes in this next cycle, that rhythm is remaining the whole time. That is the foundation. And that's a foundation of strength. The Four of Pentacles is the strongest foundation, okay? So that feels like a huge confirmation. Also, the fact that it's 444, which is an angel number, this feels very huge. Also, look at this. Remember how I said it's like coming out into the meadow and turning around and looking at the forest? Look at that. That's how those cards fell out. That's exactly what I saw. Exactly what I saw. Huge confirmation. Huge confirmation for me anyway. Then you have this Four of Wands, which, like, look at that. Wow. Okay. Which actually reminds me of the hitchhikers. That's so funny. And like blowing them away, like getting rid of those. So this is like looking back. It's putting something in perspective. It's healing. It's making sense of something. It's seeing the wisdom in something. It's also learning the lesson from a particular cycle. And this lesson could be about camaraderie, friendship, working together with people. It could be about who your friends are, who brings light and love and laughter into your life and who doesn't. It could even be about the position and placement that relationships even have in your life, or where do you want them to be? How much or how little, you know, of your pie do you want to spend on relationships? You know, or even like certain relationships. You're laying a very important foundation here, and the crux of the matter is building the strongest foundation that you can. And it's kind of looking at the strengths in your life and making them the foundation. This is so crazy. So there's a lot of manifestation energy here with this Four of Wands. And this is like, it's giving me this like intentionally choosing our direction or where we want to go with the Four of Wands, and like putting it out there into the universe. This may be an important time to be doing that. To be really, possibly even writing it down. Like, there's a lot of, you know, like making a wish energy right here. Like I'm getting like throwing a coin into a fountain, you know, blowing on the dandelion seeds and letting them scatter, writing things down. Just there's like a lot of this energy that I'm picking up on right here where it's like, you know, kind of put it all out there and see where it leads you, see what opportunities you have to sort of solidify this or to pursue it or to like go in the direction of it. There's something about moving forward here, like a lot of forward energy, a lot of change energy, a lot of you know, like I feel like a year from now your life is going to look completely different. Like there's going to be a lot of I'm getting like answered questions, but also like just change. Oh my God, yes. I literally was like, this is about manifestation. You got the Queen of Wands clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. Hello. This is about concerted energy manifesting this change. Like, what do you want? Man, oh man, you guys. You have the Ace of Swords, the Six of Cups, the Chariot, the Queen of Swords, and the Wheel of Fortune again. This is like really big energy. It's very clear that there's a new beginning here. It's either going to be made clear to you. There's this, again, energy of emerging from a forest into a meadow and turning around and seeing that. The Ace of Swords with the Six of Cups here is just like almost like another way of saying this. It's like looking back onto the past, on what the recent past of what has just happened, and having clarity, possibly even, you know, moments of aha, of like, oh, whoa, you know, that's why that happened. Or, oh, wow, you know, you may even start to see yourself separating from a crowd. This is like in a very good way. It's like it's almost giving me like people that can't keep up with you, or like, I feel a sense of like even potentially like getting attention or getting opportunity or getting, it's like a spotlight on you. What is that? Like, I don't know. It's like, it's being singled out, or it's like all of a sudden this is your moment to shine or something. Like you weren't even prepared for it or expecting it, really. I feel like you are prepared for it, but I feel like you're not expecting it. Then you have the Chariot and the Queen of Swords energy, which this is like brilliant. The Queen of Swords, you know, the cycle that you're leaving behind has obviously taught you much. It's also probably been pretty difficult mentally, emotionally, you know, just in a lot of ways there's been suffering. And a lot of it has been you with you. It has been the things that have happened, yes, but it's also been what you've told yourself about what has happened. And you're clearing through that energy, you're filtering through it, or you're separating yourself from that energy now, because there's this separation that's happening when you come out into the meadow and you turn around and you look at the forest. There's a separation, a clear separation, and you're now seeing it, you're now understanding it. Like, that isn't you, that doesn't belong to you. Like, you're over here separate from it. There is still what you can learn from it and how you can be more discerning the next time you're in the forest. Yeah, like to make different decisions. And also though, with this Queen of Swords, this is again, deciding who do you want to come with you? Or who can move with you into this space? Who is a balanced partner who is equally focused on their own success and equally driving toward their own success? Because that's really what it takes. You need people who are not like, you know, comparing themselves, but are instead so focused on their own, where they're going and what they're doing, and are putting the same energy towards that they can actually match you stride for stride. They're actually going where you're going. These people who are distracted and who are more worried about their insecurities being exposed and stuff, I feel like they're falling behind. They can't keep up where you're going. It's like you're separating yourself, and now it's like you have the opportunity to just sort of look at it and understand that this was about their insecurities, not your own inability or something like that. This is part of like a huge cycle shift for you, of putting things in place and seeing things for what they are, and sort of staying focused on your own drive toward your own success and victory. And like a large part of your purpose right now being maintaining balance for yourself. The Chariot is a very balanced energy. You have this balance energy here of just like, you know, like if you ever watch somebody learn how to ride a bike, you know, it's like until they really figure out balance and have a lot of confidence in their ability to stay balanced, the bike is kind of unstable. It's sort of like wobbling underneath them. It takes a minute for them to like kind of get the hang of it to where they're like moving and they're in control and they can stop on purpose and they can go slowly without losing balance, and they can, you know, I don't know, put the kickstand down without losing balance, whatever it is. It's like, but at first it's like very, very wobbly. And it's giving me this, you're emerging out of that energy into like kind of a well-oiled machine, or someone who is like really, like your balance is so good that other people riding up next to you, other people like coming around you, it's not going to disturb your balance. It's not going to make you wreck your bike. I don't even know. Okay. And then you have this 9 of Swords energy, and underneath that is the 5 of Swords. So, and so you have 3 9s and 3 4s and several 10s and several 9s in this reading so far. The thing is that, you know, this is about getting our mindset straight. It is about getting our mindset right. It is taking this moment to really release all of the negative dialogue that we've kind of incurred or developed in this past cycle that we're leaving behind right now. And like really, you know, seeing the forest for the trees, you know, seeing it's like showing me. So it's like with the Ace of Swords here, there's so much clarity that's coming to you. If it hasn't already come to you, it's coming to you. And it is going to, well, I don't know that it is going to, I don't want to say it that definitively, but it has the capacity to sort of prevent fear from being a factor for you. And this is very important. And I'll tell you why I am getting this energy. I saw this thing on Instagram where it was talking about healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships. And the difference between them and how they challenge us. They both are challenging, right? But in really different ways. In a toxic relationship, okay, let me just read this to you. This post is from Your Courageous Comeback, okay? Healthy love will trigger you, and in many ways, it will test you more than a toxic relationship because it won't let you run. It won't let you keep recycling the same old patterns. It asks you to sit in discomfort when you'd rather shut down, to regulate your emotions when you'd rather lash out, to stay open when you want to hide. That's why so many people run from healthy love and back into chaos, because chaos lets you avoid yourself. Here's where you're separating yourself from the people that are running back into the chaos. You're a lot of times we say, yes, I want a healthy relationship. I want this, right? And then we're presented with it and we're like, it's not working for me. It's boring. It's this, it's that. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. It's not everything that I wanted it to be. And then a toxic relationship comes along and we dive in with both feet and we're, like, oh my God, this is like a deep soul connection and it's triggering me all over the place, like But the thing is, it's really hard to grow in a space like that because you're just trying to survive. When you're just like, if you watch a house plant, right? And it's barely getting enough water or barely the right situation for it to grow or thrive, it barely grows. It'll be like the same size forever and it doesn't change. And then like its leaves will get a little bit brown. And when it does shove out a new leaf, the leaf is kind of small. It's barely getting by on what it is getting, okay? But if you put a plant in the right situation and you treat it the way that it wants to be treated, and you pay attention to it and you make it your priority, that plant will do some crazy, amazing things. Like it'll grow more than you've ever seen a plant grow. Like it'll just take off. It'll just be incredible. And I noticed this in my own house where I have houseplants that are in places where I am like a lot. Those plants tend to be healthier. They tend to live longer. They tend to, thrive and grow. And, because it's like we're having this energy exchange, like there's a lot happening. There's a lot of vibration in that room or in that space. And then my plants that are in like places where I don't normally like hang out or go or, whatever, they're okay. They get leggy, where there's a lot of space between the leaves. They get, they're different and you can tell they're different, and so I rotate my plants because I don't want my plants just like sitting alone. But I do think alone time is good and healthy for every living being. But I rotate because I don't like that. And I know some people say don't move a plant. If it was in nature, it would stay in its same place, but like I do my thing. Anyway, I listen to my intuition when it comes to all the living things in my house, let me tell you. But what I'm trying to tell you here is that look at what we're choosing. Do we continuously choose a toxic cycle? Do we continuously choose to run back into the chaos? Is that what we're choosing? But then we're saying, what I really want is a healthy relationship. What I really want is someone who can meet me where I am. I really want someone who can see me and who appreciates me and who loves me and who, all these things, right? But then it's like I keep running into the fire. I feel, Pisces, like if that has been the case for you, you're finally turning around and seeing the fire. You're finally, it's like you're getting the perspective that you need. You're getting the clarity that you need. That is going to finally make it so you no longer desire that, or that you are no longer willing to like go that direction. And you are going to see separation between you and those people that can't come with you where you're going now, because you are not a frequential match. Now, some of you, this is like work. It isn't just like a partnership relationship or whatever. And this is a little bit, it's kind of giving me more complex or more complicated here because, we don't always get to choose who we work with, kind of, it's giving me that. So we can't just sort of get away from the situation. It's interesting because I just looked at the cards and we have the Three of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Three of Swords. And the Three of Pentacles can refer to work situations, but it is like sharing a vision, sharing a plan, and collaborating. And then the moon is kind of like what's hidden, and it's like fears and illusions and that kind of energy. And also it is like an energy of kind of being elusive. And Pisces, the moon is your card. And it's like giving me this vibe of only showing people what you want to show people, or like kind of just keeping a lot hidden, being very selective. It's like even like who you're showing what to. Again, you have 2 3s showing up here at the same time. So this is kind of giving me like there may be signs or synchronicities. You may also be getting help where it's like suddenly someone that you had to work with or someone that you had to deal with is leaving. Yes. Oh my God. Look at this. You have Justice, Temperance, and the 8 of Cups. Yeah, someone, the Hanged Man. Wow, this is like keeping your knowledge to yourself. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you, for some of you, there is a work situation where you may have had to like collaborate with people that were not good collaborators, or were, you know, taking credit for your work, stealing your ideas. You know, we're not doing their work, we're not showing up right for the thing, whatever the case may be. There you have Justice, Temperance, and the 8 of Cups. They're going to, there is something happening here where finally something is going to be seen, or something is going to come into balance. Something is going to be made right here. And there will be an opportunity to heal that could be like a long time in coming. And it could be like, this can also be the energy where like if there's one big bully and then there are people that sort of play into it because they're afraid of it. They'd rather have the protection of the bully than the ire of the bully. It's like this person leaves and balance is restored very suddenly. With Temperance and Justice, there's balance being restored here. There's a lot of balance in this next phase, and there is a period of time where this balance is being set up. Things are shifting, things are happening. I'm telling you, at least a few of you that are watching this video, there are going to be people that are not, that have been playing a role in your life and have been part of your story and like a thorn in your side, and someone that you've had to deal with that is going to be removed from the situation. You will not have to deal with this person anymore. And there will be like a harmonious restoration of energy happening around this. It's pretty incredible. So there is this energy with the 3 of Pentacles and the Hangman where it's like, even if you are in a collaboration, you're going to be getting big ideas, or it may even be clear that you are the one with the knowledge, or you're the one that sees it from the unique perspective that is actually, it's giving me like the solution to the problem rather than the problem kind of energy here. And it's like, you may want to keep that to yourself a little bit, or it's like, instead of trying to convince all these people that are hell-bent on focusing on the problem, instead of trying to convince them to focus on a solution, it's kind of just let them get bogged down and lost in the problem. They're not getting paid to identify the problem. They're being paid to solve it. And when they're not coming up with solutions, it's like, if you're holding that to yourself and then there's some kind of like, okay, what is the solution to this problem? And everyone's like, well, here's the problem, here's the problem, here's the problem. And people are like, that's not what I'm asking. And you say, well, this is the solution that I see. And you introduce it right there. You know, the people that are really focused on the problem that you're supposed to collaborate with may be really pissed off or whatever, but it's like, there's just this energy of, you know, I feel like there's an energy of like, I did try to show you another way of looking at it, but you didn't want to see it. And I can't do anything about that. Like, I can't make you see something you don't want to see. But it's like you're being identified here again, the moon and the hangman. It continuously is showing me over and over again that there's something here, Pisces, where the spotlight is being brought onto you in a certain situation. And for a lot of you, I do feel like this is a work situation, but for others of you, this could even be like a friendship situation, or like even with like someone, a partner, like let's pretend, or like, I don't know, pretend is the right word, but like, let's say, or use it as an example, right? You're in a partnership with someone and they have like a family and a friend who are very meddlesome and who are constantly putting ideas in their head that you're kind of feeling like you have to combat. But these ideas are so ridiculous, or they're so like based on illusion, that for you to even engage with it again is like lending it credibility that it doesn't deserve. And so there's kind of this thing about like kind of keeping your energy to yourself, or not responding or pulling back from the collaboration itself, that sort of lets the person see, wait, all they want to talk about are these problems, you know, where when I'm with the other person, they only want to talk about solutions. They only want to come up with like big ideas, and they have visions, and they, you know, there's just a better feeling around it. So like, this is like letting this person decide where their suffering is coming from, and where they want to head, what they desire. You know, do they want more chaos? Do they want more toxicity? Or do they want to go toward the healthy relationship? You see what I'm saying? Ultimately, it's like, I'm getting like, whoever decides you'll know for sure whether they're healthy or toxic by the decision or the choice that they make, the way that it's laid out. You know, whether they're capable of sitting with themselves and their own fears, or whether either way, you're moving on towards success and victory, period, Pisces. You are looking to your future, and either someone's going to choose something healthy and to move with you and to choose that as well, or they're going to give into their fear and they're going to backslide and they're going to go into the chaos again. And either way, Pisces, your decision, it feels like, is made. You're moving forward. You're choosing peace. You're choosing, you know, kind of imagining the life that you want for yourself and just moving in that direction. You're going to have a lot of success. There's a lot of victory here. There's a lot of balance. Like I said, and the Three of Wands is also where our ships come in. So you have rewards coming towards you at this time. Like, you will be rewarded. For some of you, this is like people falling away from your life that were a distraction, or that really just could never show up, or were even cancerous or a problem or toxic, or bringing a lot of excess crap that you had to deal with into your daily life, whether at work or in your personal life. It's like there's something here where that is getting like pushed away. There's a separation that's happening here, Pisces, and you're coming out to the good in a space where you're going to be rewarded with success. You're separating yourself from the crowd in a way of just showing your true colors as being positive. God, look at that. The Three of Wands is clarifying the Chariot. The Three of Wands is right here, and it's being clarified by the Nine of Wands. This is going to require some strength on your part, Pisces, and some perseverance, or it may have already needed that. Like, you may have already had to be strong. For some of you, the Nine of Wands is like being able to hold a boundary for a long time, persevering and holding a boundary. A lot of times when we put up a strong boundary, we will even doubt it ourselves, especially when it's being challenged continuously. And especially, like, I keep getting the energy of like people around you telling you like, oh no, you should just deal with this. And then it's like you try, and then the boundaries get pushed, or the boundaries get invaded, and you know, you're retreating. So you keep losing ground. So this is like having this is a very firm boundary, but it is also an energy of being very dedicated to your cause, like not letting yourself be distracted by these distractions, not letting yourself get sucked into the drama and the chaos again. You know, you're seeing it very clearly, you're managing it very clearly, and things are falling away from you that just are not meant to go with you where you're going, you know. This is a period of change for you. With the Five of Cups, there is a grief here. There is a sense of loss. There is a sadness. You know, anytime we're in a transition and we're letting go of a particular phase of our life and we're moving into a new one, there is a grief. There is a sadness, even if we're happy to escape it, even if overall we feel like, oh man, you know, I'm thankful that's over. There is still this spot of us that learned how to survive or how to manage, or, you know, found something positive in every day or in that period of time. And those things will also be lost to us. Nothing is all bad. You know what I mean? And so there is like this moment here with the Five of Cups and the Nine of Swords where, you know, we have this. It honestly feels like letting go of someone who couldn't face their fears. And it's like a sense of nostalgia or a sense of, you know, I care about you and I'm sad that you couldn't overcome this, or that you couldn't find your way through this. And I have to let you go. You know, I can't stay in this space just to stay with you when, you know, you like, I'm just getting like, this sounds harsh, but refuse to change, refuse to grow, refuse to take charge of your fears, overcome them, look at them, deal with them, you know? So this is, you're definitely leaving something behind you. You're definitely looking forward to something really amazing in your future here. And there are things coming in as a reward for you. There are also things going out as a reward for you. So things coming in, things going out. I do feel like this is all strengthening you. The bottom line here is that all of this is, you're getting stronger. Your position is getting stronger. Your balance is getting stronger. Your relationships, I feel like, are getting stronger. Your future is getting stronger. There's just strength multiplying here. Okay. If you're dealing with a water sign, you have no one else matters now. Twin flames. I can't walk away. Anxious. You are hard to forget. And old flames. You know, when you cut away the weakest link, the whole chain gets stronger. I don't know. When you chop the dead wood, when you take the yellow leaf off the plant, when you, like all of those things, it's like everything gets stronger. And that's like this moment for you, Pisces, whatever that is. So that you may be losing people and you may feel sad about it. And you also may feel sad that they didn't overcome their fear in order to come with you where you're going. There may even be a period of grief about that, but like ultimately it's okay. You're rising. You're getting stronger. Okay. If you're dealing with a fire sign, you will always be my secret love. You are the one. I want to talk to you. I am working on myself. I just need more time. You are so unexpected, and good intentions. If you are dealing with an earth sign, you have, I want a future with you. I can't stop thinking of you. I am making plans. I am afraid to trust, and I don't want to let you down. If you are dealing with an air sign, it's hard for me to explain things. I remember everything you said. You changed my whole direction. Nostalgic. My karmic story is ending. You hit me out of nowhere. All right, guys, this is what I have for you. I hope that this reading made sense. I hope it was clear. I hope it came through. There's a lot getting shaken up here, and it's like trust, have faith. Everything is balancing out, and it does feel like it is all working out in your favor here, Pisces. Like, I continuously really get a very strong feeling here that things are falling away and things are coming in, and it is all in your favor. All right, this is what I have for you. I hope it helps. Until next time, guys, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.